Welcome back to Leggari, guys. You're not gonna wanna miss this video. We're gonna show you how to take an aluminum panel and turn it into a magnetic surface. We have a super cool project, another Leggari first. We're gonna show you how to turn any surface and make it magnetic using our primers, and then you can obviously epoxy over it and magnetic things will stick to it. So I have right here a sample I tested, aluminum panel, and now it's magnetic, right? Aluminum. I have the same one over here. Same panel, not magnetic. So this video is going to show you guys how to make any surface magnetic, and it opens up the doors for a lot of options. Drain boards is what I'm going to be making here, where I can just put pieces of paper up there and hold them up with a magnet. So what I'm going to be using is our primer, WB primer. We're going to create that magnetic surface by using metal shavings, and I'm going to roll the primer on a lot thicker than normal, and I'm basically going to broadcast those aluminum flakes into that primer. 100% broadcast like we do on our flake floors. Once that dries, we'll clean up the excess and then we'll epoxy over that, and that's how we create the magnetic surface. So it's a really cool process, and again, it keeps stuff lightweight. Very cool for art panels, dream boards, something that you're gonna hang up on a wall, because if we made a metal sheet, coated over that with epoxy, it's gonna be super heavy. You're gonna have to go into studs. This way we can just use sheetrock anchors and we can put it anywhere we want. So we're gonna be using our WB primer. I'm gonna put it on maybe like twice as thick, 3 times as thick. It typically calls for about 0.4 ounces per square foot. I'll probably make, I don't know, 1 to 2 ounces per square foot. I always like to make extra, that way I don't have to mix up a small amount if I run out. And again, I'm gonna roll it on thick, and then we're gonna broadcast into it right away before it dries. Got 3 of these little jars out there, so I'm gonna just tilt it up, knock the excess off, and I can either scoop that up and keep rebroadcasting. We just wanna get it all covered until it all looks dry. I can still see some wet looking spots. All right, guys, so we're gonna let that set up. I'll probably let it set up overnight. It'll take the primer longer putting it on that thick. Plus, we want the primer to get pretty hard so we can tape our edges and kind of create a dam, so we can pour the resin on thicker like we do on our stone kits. Check it out, guys. We now have a magnetic surface over aluminum panel boards. You can do this over any surface. Obviously, you'd want to do it over a hard surface, but it's super cool, super simple process to create a magnetic surface using this process. And the reason we do this process, we've tried it multiple different ways. This is the best way to get a nice even coat over the whole surface. That way, wherever you're putting your magnets, they're gonna stick. So sticks really well. And then even going through the aluminum panels and foam, it also sticks on the back. So by the time we put our epoxy coat on here, it's still gonna be a magnetic surface. So what I did was let it set up for a day, just so that primer got rock hard. Scraped off the excess, took a brush, got the majority off. It's okay if there's still some magnetic flakes, chunks floating around. They're gonna settle in the resin and go to the bottom anyways. But we just don't want big piles of it, right? Because when we're moving the resin around, it might clump up and create like a chunk in the product. So we want to get as much off as we can. And then what I'm going to do is pour it on relatively thick. So I need to weather strip my edges. Obviously thin pieces like this, the only way to create a dam on them without it really bleeding through is use weather stripping. So I'm going to weather strip all these edges. It's not sticking because it's such a rough surface. So I had to stop before I did it, but I figured it would stick because it sticks to quite a few things. So if I was to do this again, before I prime, I would just tape off an edge around it with tape. I would prime, do my metal shavings and everything, and then I would pull the tape, and that would leave me a nice flat surface that I could still put weather stripping on. So like I said, if I did it again, that's what I would do. Just so we like to dam up products like this so we can do them thicker, we get cooler looks, and then it doesn't let the product run and kind of flow off and drag your design. So we're just gonna rock this one. We're gonna do the base coat in black, and then I'm gonna let that sit for maybe 20 minutes so it kind of levels out, does its thing. So when we add the highlight colors and stuff, there's not as much movement in that resin. So Kyle's gonna mix it up. We're gonna be using our black epoxy pigment. You need 2%. So however much resin you're making, A and B, you just need to add 2% of whatever epoxy pigment color you are using. So very simple to use. It just goes right in the mix, and it can tint that epoxy for you. So we're gonna do that. We're gonna do a little bit of pigmented white highlights and also silver metallic. So we're gonna have two colors that are solid pigments, and then we're gonna do one silver metallic, and then I'm gonna spritz some dispersing effects on it with some pigments in that as well. We're gonna be using, I think, liquid diamonds and gold on it. So should be a really cool project here. Just to reiterate, guys, like I said before, if you're not taping off your edges and you want to minimize the flow and the run of the design, let that base coat set up a little bit. So we're going to dump the black out, let that sit for about 15-20 minutes, and then we'll come back and add those colors in the design. That's going to let that level out completely, flow over the edges a little, and then when we add our highlights, it's not going to want to move as much. Okay guys, I'm just gonna mist it with denatured alcohol, get rid of any air bubbles that might be left in it. Let this set up for 15-20 minutes, and then we're gonna add our highlights. So you guys saw me do that. When I was blending the colors, I used the corner of the squeegee. It doesn't blend the colors and mute them as much. It creates more of these vein patterns. So if you're trying to create more of a vein pattern, more dominant colors throughout, just use the corners of those squeegees. Don't hold them flat. It's just gonna kind of muddle out the colors. And then I wasn't sure if I wanted gold. Gold looks cool, but you can always test on the side. That's what I did. I sprayed a little gold. I liked it. And if you spray a spot and you're like, I don't like that, we can blend that in. We can fine tune any areas that we don't like. Obviously you'd want to do that before you spray the whole board. So we'll let this set up. And since we let that black kind of level out for about 20 minutes, it shouldn't move as much. We still will get some movement and some pulling just because our edges aren't taped. So we'll let this set up. I haven't decided what top coat we're going to do on it. And then I'll show you how to drill the holes. And again, this is going to be super lightweight, so we can hang it up anywhere in the house. We don't have to hit studs because it is lightweight. All right guys, board's done. So now I'm gonna go over how to hang it on your wall. And since it is a lightweight panel, those aluminum panels don't weigh a lot. I don't have to try to find studs. So if you're drilling and you hit a stud, great, you're gonna get a better support there. But again, these are lightweight. Sheetrock anchors work just fine. So I'm gonna go over how to hang these, and it doesn't matter what size of board you do, you hang them all the same way as long as you're using the standoff dowels. These are very cool. They make them look really sleek. And so the tools we're gonna need: drill bit, Phillips drill head. I got these right here. Some tape to find center on our wall. Rubber mallet to knock the sheetrock anchors in, which I have here. Screws for the sheetrock anchors. Tape measure, pencil, whatever. Obviously a level, want to make sure it's on their level. That's basically what you need. And again, guys, it's really simple to hang these. And since they are lightweight, you can put them anywhere you want in your house. So since we have the door here, we're gonna center it from the door to the piece of trim right here, right? We don't wanna center it from the wall, because when the door's open, you know, it's gonna be like right here behind the door. It's not gonna look as good. So door, I guess, usually stays open. So we're gonna open it. We're gonna measure the distance, put a piece of blue tape, mark on that, so we know where center is. We'll hang it up, line it up here, get it level, get it positioned where I want, and then we're gonna mark the holes, and then we can just simply drill them, put our sheetrock anchors in, and hang this thing. It's really fast. I don't know if you can see that line, but it's right there. So I know I'm centered. So now we just need to level it. Always stand back, double check. So I always like to go smaller holes, so these really bite into the sheetrock. All right guys, so we're ready to put the standoff dowels in. Screws that go with the sheetrock anchors, make sure they fit before you put them in the wall. Fit down in there. Now we're just going to screw these in. All right, so next thing is hang this. So these come with two washers, one for the back, one for the front. And so if you guys want to use them on the back, we just tape them. Obviously it's a pain in the butt to hold them back there, so we'll put it over the hole, tape it just like that, and then that's how you can get them on the back relatively easy. All right guys, that's how you hang it. And again, that goes for however big your piece is, doesn't matter. The only thing is if you get a big long one, I'll kind of walk you out here and show you. You might want to add a third standoff dowel in the middle. And I'll kind of show you that right here on this wall art. If you haven't seen this video, it's on our channel, very cool. But you can see how long this one is, 8 feet tall. And we have another one in the center. Same thing as this one though. No studs, all sheetrock anchors, still super lightweight, no issues at all. There it is, guys. Project is complete. Turned out better than we thought. We took an aluminum panel, and everyone knows aluminum is not magnetic, but using our technique, we created a magnetic surface. So now we can use this decorative art piece for a dream board, calendar board, a lot of options when you do this technique. Let us know in the comments below what else you guys would like to see turned into a magnetic surface. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you on the next video.